Good morning, friends. It's about halfway through my sleep night, about 4:45 in the morning. Just looking at the clock there. Couldn't sleep, but I had some things in my mind that I thought was worth sharing. Some encouragement. Got some Simon and Garfunkel playing in the background. Soothing music. Just some things that happened recently that's really encouraging and kind of unexplainable. I don't know if God just takes a, is able, I know He's able, but just tweaks time a bit without us knowing it. I know He's probably done this forever to keep us in the game, so to speak. Just a few things I wanted to share. I was on a bus route a couple weeks ago, and this guy jumped on my bus just as I was ready to leave and out of breath. And I said, "Boy, you got here just in time." And he looked at me kind of odd. He was kind of young, so I thought it was odd he was out of breath. And I was leaving about a minute and a half late, which is not too common for me. I just got out of the park and ride, and there's only 3 people on the bus, which is very unusual. Usually when I leave that park and ride, it's 10 or more, even during COVID. And I just got out of the park and ride, and 6 police cars came right at me. I mean, in my lane, around me. I stopped. I heard someone on the bus go, "Oh," or something of that nature. So I knew who they were looking for. It was definitely on my bus. I stopped the bus. As they approached the bus, opened the front door, opened the back door, which is standard protocol. So I'm quite certain I opened the back door. You know, I was in the middle of a little bit of, but that's protocol, and I follow protocol quite closely. Anyway, so they got their guns drawn, you know, lasers on their guns on, point to someone in the bus. 2 come through the front door. They motion for me to get out once they figure they got the situation under control and the people have their hands up. Apparently they were looking for 2 people. And they did take 2 away, and the third one gave a testimony and walked away. And I pointed out, they asked me what had all happened, and that kind of confirmed for them who they're looking for. I guess some kind of burglary suspect, and they did find money, et cetera, on one of them, and in a hoodie, you know, a little ways from the location. And so things lined up, and I gave a little written testament. It took about 40 minutes while we're there with the bus parked in the street, police cars everywhere. But the bottom line is, so I stood outside, kind of kneeled down behind a concrete barrier of sorts, just kind of passing time, waiting for everything to clear. When I went to get back on the bus, the door handle was gone. You know, the little handle you open the doors. Oh, where'd the door handle go? Maybe they took it for some reason. It was in my pocket. Now, why would I take the door handle off and put it in my pocket? Maybe in the flurry of things? I think what happened is God wanted me to take the door handle and just had me do it without me thinking about it, because that's not protocol at all. And from my recollection, both doors were open, and you can't take the door handle out of the mechanism if the rear door is open, only if the front door is open. Probably some bizarre safety feature I haven't put much thought into as to why they do that, but that'll probably come to me later today. And so I'm just saying God looks out for you and for the whole situation in general. Maybe something went down really bad there, and God tweaked the time and, you know, to give me more time, him more time, who knows what. That was one thing. It's been on my mind a little bit for the last week or 2 since this has occurred. And then my neighbor friend came over the other day, and his grandpa passed away about 2 months ago now, and his caretaker, and his grandma's still alive. And he's been living at home. He's 21, 22 now. And tough upbringing. Mom did drugs, etc. And he was out west of town in their J10 Jeep, old Jeep, that their neighbor's helping him fix up now that his grandpa's gone. I call him Dad because he raised him. And anyway, he went to start the Jeep. It wouldn't start. He was taking his friend to work. And couldn't figure out why. They called the neighbor. Neighbor was good enough to come out during COVID. He doesn't have a lot of work right now, so he's got more time to help him keep things going. Come to find out, the ground wire to the battery or to the engine, one of the two, is a little green wire. Ground is usually green. Was not attached, and they know it was attached well because his neighbor just rebuilt the carburetor. They put a new battery in, did all this kind of stuff. He's a very thorough guy. Well, as they were going to push start the truck down a hill, you know, or get it out of the road or something, they had to move it. As he was turning the steering mechanism snapped. And it's where the 2 the stem of the steering comes together with the rest of the steering function. And there's 2 bolts in there and a rubber gasket apparently, and the bolts snapped. It's a 1970s truck, it's 50 years old, so some things get rusted underneath there. And he's like, I believe my, what do you call him, Nan, I think he called his caretaker, his grandpa that filled in his dad, Nan, disconnected that, so when I came home down the highway, it wouldn't have snapped, and who knows what would have happened, who I would have injured, or would have injured myself. And he's real selfless. He's like, I don't really care about myself. But with that big of a truck, could have hurt someone else. Now, if he did it or an angel did it, I wasn't going to worry about details. But that's something recently where God was looking out for someone and showing him that, that God, really cares about him. So that's 2 instances. Today, I left my cell phone on the bus. I had it turned off, which is what we're supposed to do. So I had to go back and find the bus. I missed all the buses after they washed it. Ran into someone who's a bit of a prepper I hadn't seen in a long time. Talked a bit. That was really awesome. I figured that maybe that's why that all happened, which is possible. When I got back to my car was locked. Now, thankfully, I had my keys in my pocket. But I distinctly remember when I pulled my car in on the mechanic side where we're not supposed to park, but it's near Colfax where there's a lot of stuff that happens. I figured I'm just going to run and get my phone. It's just going to take a couple minutes. No need to lock my car. There's really nothing valuable that I can recall. So I go in. I distinctly remember not locking it. It's an older car, so it doesn't lock automatically or anything. No fob, nothing like that. And I come back out and the door is locked. I just can only imagine God was taking care of me in my car while I was gone. I usually do not make those kinds of, I wouldn't call slip-ups, but those risks. I usually don't take them, but I'm just going to run in and run out. And the door was locked. So I just want to encourage you that when evil abounds, grace abounds. There's a verse, unless that's Mandela affected at this point, but it's like where there's more evil, there's more grace. I'm going to encourage you in these little things. I had a title for my car disappear for about 4 months, reappeared right where I remember putting it. Just weird things that you can kind of see like God's little fingerprints over. And he'll keep you going as long as you need to. So I want to encourage you with that message. So it's early morning. I heard the birds chirping. I'm more of a night person, but I really felt like to get this message out to at least one person who needs to hear this. And be encouraged. We're living in phenomenal times. And I was thinking how we might be living in a matrix of sorts. Matrix is now in your King James Bible, by the way. A simulation of sorts. And someone was saying, I think I need to add this for someone out there, that God is throwing all kinds of code over our heads to keep us in the game and to confuse the enemy. And I thought, a friend of mine said, that's badass, Jeff. And I thought it kind of is when you think in those kind of terms. It's a weird way, but I guess anything less than God himself could be considered a simulation or a matrix because it's less than him. In our kind of words, it's more important than that. But anyway, I'm going to pause this. I might just cancel it here because it seems like there's one more thing I wanted to share, but maybe not. Yes, there was one more thing. We have a fairly new neighbor, a few months, getting to know her, and her kids really enjoy me, and I have a lot of kids stuff, used kids stuff that I can just pass on to them. And gave her a charcoal burning grill that I had 3 of. I only need 1. But I hate to see this stuff get thrown away and I drag it home. So anyway, I was playing some music out my front door yesterday, some blues and jazz, because our neighbors across the street and a door over like that kind of music. So I just put that on there, while I was outside with my little Bluetooth thing, and they seemed to just settle down and enjoy it. I sometimes play some Christian music. It was just a beautiful day. It was a holiday, Memorial Weekend. And I was playing a little bit of Purple Rain. Prince is just... Anyway, she had a Purple Rain Prince t-shirt on today. I said, I was just playing that yesterday, which got me to introduce to her the concept of chemtrails. Because as you know, Prince died, as far as I'm concerned, was killed shortly after he went public with talking about chemtrails. So I've been introducing her to a few things recently of that nature, which she is clueless about. And so hopefully we'll get to the whole vaccine thing and the Mandela effect. But I don't want to screw with her mind too much. So only as God leads. Some of this is maybe just best unknown. But anyway, so this is kind of fun what's going across the street. So God is moving in his way and in his time. I just want you all to be encouraged. I know you know he is, but sometimes you just need to hear about it. God bless you all.